Hello, my name's Ian, aka Tiger Mendoza. I did a track using samples from Cities of Memory, posted it to a couple of sites, and there were a couple of questions about how I put the track together and how I pieced the track together from the various samples I used. So I thought I would put together a quick video to just kind of walk people through what my process was, how I pulled the samples together I used, and a little bit about my the way the track was assembled. Anyway, so I'll just play a bit of the track in case you haven't heard it. It goes something like. Um, so what I'll do first, I'll go through the drum rack because I like drums. And you'll see really it's pretty it's a pretty standard drum rack. I mean, it doesn't it's the samples I use were really just laid out like standard drums. So nothing too weird. Um, the samples themselves, though, I suppose could be considered a bit weird. So, for example, if I zoom right out of that one, you'll see it's quite a long sample, and then the actual kick sound, notice I said kick-ish, is a teeny piece right in the middle of this here. So if I play my kick, and it sounds like that, kind of big boom sound. If I play the original, it sounds more like it, and I honestly couldn't tell you. Find out from somewhere around.
Ah.
So that R you just heard, it became that. And how it's well, it's a very small sample. I tuned it right down by 24 steps, or 2 octaves worth. So if I tune it back up, it's got a tiny little snippet. And then if I make it a bit longer,
Ah.
it starts to sound more like the original vocal sound. So undo that all again, get boom. Also, just to make it give it a bit more depth, I added the sub kick maker in from Ableton's Corpus effect, um, which is just great for making good booming kick drums. Similar process for the rest of these things. So standard thing where you just find a snare drum or a snare kind of thing you could think would work as a kind of snare or a tap hit. So if I go for that one, open up this sample, just take off the reverb from there. If I play just a snare sound on its own, like that, and it's just a tap from the track. Add reverb to it, add my glue compressor to the end, so it gives a bit more punch, and you get much more useful. So got a rattle, which I use as a hi-hat sound. Got my snare. Got a snap. Crazy little bit of, don't know what it is, kind of reversed thing. That's the kick that I showed you. That's the second snap. So I kind of use it as percussion. And the only thing is I couldn't really find something that would work really well as a crash. So I just use this. Just a bit of noise really with bit reduction and some filter delay to act as a kind of crash-ish, I suppose. Drum rack then got a bit of saturation on it, glue compressor afterwards, and that's it. You just it really is just a drum rack. So just the samples aren't just your standard kick snare samples. So I've got my individual drums laid out as individual channels on here, and they all feed into this MIDI channel. You can see here. That means I can set up a drum rack on one channel and then manage all the elements individually. So if I play just the kicks here, sound, and percussion. That's kind of the beat that carried the whole track. So that's the drums. And in the next video, there is part 2 of this. I will show you how I did the pads. Very, very similar way, just obviously they're pitched. So I'll walk through that in a bit. Thank you very much.